All right, right now in this quick bonus video, we're going to talk about one-night stands. The coaches are going to tell you how to set up a one-night stand, if it's possible, you know, what to do. I've had a few experiences with this, so I'll provide the background on that too. But let's get started. Can you guys first talk about how you would know if a girl is open to a one-night stand that you just meet?
I think you can tell if a girl is forward or not, depending on what she wears, and also how she talks to you and how she responds. And I don't know, personally, I just think you can tell if she's a horny girl or not.
Yeah, if she's super flirtatious, like laughing at everything you're saying, you know, if there's alcohol involved and she's drinking a lot, and if she's, you know, kind of maybe making like sexual comments at you, or like, I guess again, flirtatious, then it's probably a pretty good sign.
Okay, so let's talk about for some girls that probably aren't out looking to have a one-night stand, but there's a lot of girls that would. You know, there's a lot of times where, you know, probably they weren't thinking about it, and then they meet a guy and he said and did the right thing, and you know, one thing leads to another, and sex the first night. So let's talk a little bit about that and how that goes down. The first thing is obviously the girl has to be super attracted to the guy. So how would a guy make her really attracted in a short period of time?
I would say that he has to keep me on my toes. That's really important, and that like draws me in. So, you know, be witty, be smart, be charming, all of those things. And yeah, that gets me interested.
Yeah, definitely be confident and act like, you know, you're gonna show her a good time, not necessarily in the bedroom, but just be funny. If you're more calm and talking more about business, then she'll probably think that you're sort of more
Boyfriend material?
Yeah, boyfriend material.
What are the right words to say to like get her super excited fast, like that night? Like you meet her and, you know, do you want to start off the conversation differently than you would if you're just going to talk to a girl, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've talked in the past about not making it about a pretty girl's looks, but I mean, if you're trying to like get her in the bedroom, you know, I would want to know that I'm above like any other girl. Like, wow, like you are, you know, the prettiest girl in the room, like, you know, then she's like, oh, okay, like I'm special. Like you want to make her feel special.
Yeah, I definitely think that if that's all you want in a one night stand, then definitely go for the big compliments. Like, damn, you're the sexiest girl like I've seen in a really long time, and I could eat you all night, or something like that, to make her sort of thinking what you want. So
would you say that if you're going for the one night stand, you might get rejected a little bit more, you might have to talk to more girls, but you got to be a little bit more aggressive?
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's kind of a little bit more of a numbers game.
Yeah, I think so.
Or once the girl is attracted, how else can you just keep, you know, ramping it up so that it's likely to happen? Because a lot of times, you know, I'll talk to a girl and I'm like, wow, it's going great. Tonight's going to be a huge night. And then I get her number and we go out 2 weeks later. And nothing really happened that night. So how do you avoid that? How do you really keep pushing the agenda the same night?
Well, once things are going well, I would just, you know, when you're still out somewhere, I would kind of initiate touching to like get her thinking, like fast forward. I know that might seem awkward, but you know, I don't know if she's sitting here and you're like, oh, like let me get this, like I don't know, like stuff like that, just like really casual
that works.
stuff like that. Yeah, and then like she's like, ooh, I like that, you know. You can't help it if somebody touches you, you know, you feel that, so it kind of gets you like thinking ahead.
And I think also if you're out in the club, if you meet someone earlier in the night, maybe do exchange numbers and talk to her later instead of hanging out with her the whole night, so she doesn't have time to get bored.
So do it earlier and then later on?
Well, preferably maybe just meet her later on, but if you happen to meet her earlier, probably maybe not hang out with her like 2-3 hours throughout the night, because then she's sort of getting tired of dancing with you already or talking to you, so then maybe show up at the end of the night instead.
Yeah, I definitely think keep it short while you guys are out in public. I think that's better, because then there's like this whole mysterious thing going too.
Yeah, and I definitely think that's the thing about a one-night stand. If you've been talking to a guy for like several hours that night, then you sort of, you know, you may not see him as that one-night stand guy anymore. So
really, so you talk to her real quick, get her really excited, super intrigued, leave, and then you have her number, and then you hit up later.
Right. Yeah. Right. I've had one-night stand my whole life.
So everyone always lies about this. So you know, I had times 5.
No, this is true. This is true. And I didn't even really talk to him until I went home with him.
So what did you guys talk about that made you go home with him?
We didn't. His friend came over. Well, they had a table and a lot of women, and his friend came over and he's like, yeah, that guy over there likes you. And then it's like, I don't know, it was kind of a little cocky because he didn't even take the time to come over himself. I mean, I don't think that's maybe the greatest move, but it worked that night.
Yeah, it's not the most normal, not the most normal.
And also
scenario.
for me to see that he, obviously did have other options. So that's maybe a good thing. If you do just want a one-night stand, maybe talk to a few girls that the other girl might see. Then when you pick her, she's gonna feel special. So I did feel special that he sort of like wanted me, even though he could have had these other girls. Maybe that's what I was thinking anyway.
So what's the right way to do that? So you just talk to 2 or 3 girls, have them around you, and then they're all super excited. And the girl that you really like, you kind of leave her on the outskirts, or how would you set that up?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good strategy, definitely.
Yeah, or maybe just throughout the night look at her across the room or something like that.
Or if you did get her number in the beginning, send her like a winky face or something like towards the end. That way she like remembers, and if she responds back, then that's obviously a good sign.
So one of my friends that goes out to bars all the time told me like this is his key to one-night stands, and obviously it works for him, but let's see what you guys think about this. So if you go out like real early in the night, say you go out like 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, and then you meet a girl, you just kind of keep hanging out with her, which is the opposite of what you guys said, but he's like, if I go out with her really early and we end up going to like 5 or 6 places, she feels like we've known each other forever. And that was his strategy, and I was like, oh, whatever, I don't really ever go out at 5 p.m., but that's like what he did.
And they went out together?
No, he met her out at like a
okay.
happy hour. He's like, I'll go to like a happy hour at like 6, and then, we'll chill for a while there, then we'll go somewhere else, then we'll go somewhere else, and by the end of the night, we've been to so many places that it's just kind of natural she would go back with me, because it's like, seems like we spent the entire night together, and I was like, oh,
I can definitely see that works, because then a lot of girls are scared about what the guy's going to think if they do have sex with him the first night, because obviously it's a bit more taboo than for a guy to want to have it. So if you've at least been, with him at a couple of places, then you probably do feel more comfortable and less like a whore if you want to have sex that night.
So what would you say? That brings up a good point. So a lot of times the girl probably wants to, but doesn't, because she's going to feel like, oh man, I'm going to look like such a slut if I do this. So what would you say to let her know that not only is it okay, but it's it's awesome?
Well, the approach you wouldn't want to take is like, oh, girls do this all the time with me. That would be what you don't want to do. But just assure her that you like really independent women, like free thinkers, or like girls that are liberal and girls that do what they want, like that's hot. And so then you're thinking like, oh, well, I have one-night stands, like that makes me hot,
Yeah, or maybe even say things like, even if you said it to a ton of girls before, but just like, you're so cool, I really feel like I've known you for a long time, and I love hanging out with you. It feels like I've known you my whole life, and that way she'll feel like she's probably the only one that you said that to, and she's gonna feel like she could be open to having sex with you if you feel that way about her.
Let's talk a little bit about like the logistics of it, because obviously you got to set it up the right way. Should you try and go back to her place, invite her to yours? What's the right way to do it, the smoothest way?
Well, I've seen several different approaches. One is, oh, we're having after hours at my place. So like, oh, there's a party going on at my place. Then you get back and it's just the two of you. So you've got this whole surprise element of like, wait a minute, I just got tricked. But, it's nice that he wanted
Everyone will be over in an hour.
Yeah, it's nice that he wanted you to come over. So there's like that element. But that, I guess that works sometimes.
What if it's just on a date even? What if it's like a date? Like you go out with a girl that you met on the internet, or you met her somewhere and then you guys went out?
Well, you could, again, make some sort of, like, excuse, like, oh, let's go back to my place. I want to show you this cool TV show that I recorded, or this cool movie, or I want to show you my baby pictures. I don't know, just make it a reason to come back. It's not just like, let's go back to my place, and then That way, she feels more comfortable. She's like, oh, well, we're just going to look at pictures,
So you think it's better to have her to your place than go to hers?
I don't think so. That's just because...
I love this. We're so different.
Me personally, I'm very much like a neat freak, like a lot of women are. Like, I want to know I have my hairbrush, I want to know I have my face wash, and I want to know like I have some sexy lingerie in case I don't already have them on. So I definitely like having all of my things, because especially if I like the guy, I don't want to go to his place and not have like fresh clothes the next day, or not be able to wash my face or brush my hair or whatever, or even put on new makeup in the morning. So for me, I would like, if he wants a chance to have sex with me, the chances are a lot bigger if he comes back to my place, because then I feel a lot more comfortable.
So how would a guy invite himself back to your place?
Maybe offer taking her home, which is not very likely in LA because a lot of people drive, but...
Yeah, what about, in another city, obviously people probably, maybe take the train or something. I don't know. What would be the way you would suggest it, through like conversation? Like,
Maybe like, hey, can I join you for a taxi ride home to you? Or, you know, do you need a ride home? Or
what if you are on the date, you're driving her home anyway, and then you got to make the leap from the car to her apartment or house? What's the right way to?
Well, of course, you could do the whole like, you know, you need to park and like walk her to the door. That's just like the chivalrous thing to do anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I mean, you might just have to wait for her to kind of offer. Like,
yeah, if I'm interested, even if I may not want to sleep with you, but to spend some more time with you and see what I want to do, then I invite guys in.
And then if they have a pet, that's always a good one. Like, oh, can I meet Sparky? You know, like then you're like, oh yeah, of course, come in and meet the dog. So just trying to like use the environmental or situation. Yeah, of course.
And I tend to use sort of like a reason, sort of like if I baked something, I'd be like, oh, do you want to try my cinnamon buns or something like that? That works.
Any kind of excuse.
Yeah.
Yes,
it needs to be an excuse.
So another question that comes in all the time is, if you do have a one-night stand with a girl, how can you turn it into more? Because a lot of times, obviously, you know, there's a lot of attraction, and then you guys had sex, and the girl immediately thinks, like, I don't want a relationship because this guy will never respect me.
I mean, we just be honest and have that conversation. Like, say that you didn't expect for it to maybe develop, or for you to maybe develop feelings, or you didn't really know her at first, but now you're getting to know her a little better, and you're really like feeling her. And maybe also say that one night stands isn't something you usually do, even if it is.
I think definitely take her on a date, like an actual date then, you know, like a nice dinner, or I know we've talked in the past, like movies aren't a good place to get to talk, but at least, you know, that's like a date setting, or go to the beach together, do something datey instead of like going out to a club and drinking, which you could do with your bros.
Mm-hmm. Well, forget the club, because a lot of people, myself included, don't really go to clubs. So what else could you do with her that would be kind of reinforce the relationship instead of just the sex? Should you wait to have sex with her again? Should you have sex with her the next time? Or what do you think is the right way to do it?
I wouldn't mind sex again the next time, but maybe do some like a daytime activity. And yeah, girls, I definitely realize guys straight away, like what are his intentions. And you very much notice, does he just want to hang out in the evening time? Does he just want me to come to his place or to my place? Or does he, you know, talk about coming to meet all his friends next week? Or does he want to do something during the day? So I think you can definitely, by your actions, definitely show what you want.
Yeah, and even little things like if he's opening the door for me, like the car door especially, like he had to make an effort to go do that. So that's saying like, oh, I want to impress you and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So once you've had a one-night stand with her, don't worry about looking desperate or anything, because you already had a one-night stand with her. So, you know, just look like you really care. That's what I'm hearing.
Basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cool. So before we wrap this one up, what are the best pickup lines to set up a one-night stand?
Best pickup lines to set up a one-night stand.
I like someone who's pretty forward. If I'm open to a one-night stand, then yeah, I mean, I like something very forward.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't. I guess like the first thing that pops into my head is like, like if you like John Mayer, like, oh, John Mayer, like let's go discover how your body is a wonderland or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if I could say that without laughing.
Cody loves the cheesy stuff.
I do. I love the cheesy, funny stuff.
So what's another example if you don't want to throw John Mayer into the conversation?
A one-night stand pickup line. I don't know.
Or does it not even matter? Just be more assertive than usual.
I feel like when I come back to my place, I have some milk. I know you drink milk because it does the body good. Damn, you look good.
So you're down for all the cheesy lines then?
Yeah, pretty much.
Gotcha. And Erica, what do you think?
I guess I'm not really down for the cheesy lines, but more something very, very confident, almost to the point of cocky. That's what would like turn me on and think of a one-night stand instead of just a boyfriend.
Like, what would an example be?
I'm so bad at examples.
I need some. I need some lines.
You need some lines, yeah. You know, I've sort of fallen for it in the past when someone's just really straightforward, like, hey, like, I think you're super hot, like, I'd love to chill with you later, or just something more smooth.
Along that lines, though?
Yeah.
All right, so this was that one time. So that's one night stands. Obviously, if you want to have a one night stand, it's going to be a little bit more difficult than just a date and going out and having a normal date and then aiming for sex, second, third, fourth, fifth date, whatever is your style. But if you follow the instructions from the coaches, it should be relatively easy to pull off if you are a little bit more assertive.
Yeah.
So, all right, we'll see you in the next video.